Hi everyone, how are you? Can you hear me properly? Hello? Am I audible? Okay, hi, good to see you, Palak. How are you? After a long time. Good. Awesome. So, before I start the session, I would like to ask one simple question: that what was your intention to join this evening session with me? And if you can unmute and say, that would be nothing, there will be nothing like that. Can you just unmute and say that what is your intention behind joining this session tonight?
Hello, hi Pinaki.
Yeah, hi Palak. Good to hear you.
Actually, I've been seeing your post about the sessions which you conduct 30 minutes, 60 minutes.
Mm.
So, out of curiosity, I have joined today because I always used to wonder what you conduct in these sessions. And due to some reasons, I was not able to attend till now.
Mm-hmm.
And so, fortunately, today I was able to, attend, like I'm able to attend it now. And so,
All right. Good. So, what would you like to know? What are your expectations? What's going to happen tonight?
I mean, honestly, there are no expectations. It's like just because you are conducting it, so I wanted to be there.
Okay, so that is a feature you have applied. कि पिनाकी के लिए आधा घंटा लगा देते हैं
Huh?
कुछ पिनाकी के साथ आधा घंटा
No.
लगा देते हैं कुछ ना कुछ तो मिलने वाला ही है.
Because I mean, I've been in this group since long, so I always know when you're in the session, there's always something to learn, and there's always a takeaway. So,
Good. So, see, as I always say, what happens in what neuro linguistic programming is all about is it is something which walks on two legs. NLP walks on two legs. One leg
mhm,
is reframe, the other leg is uh, uh, anchors. So NLP works on two legs, reframe and anchoring. And the outcome is the journey that you follow, that you are on with NLP, with these two legs that you walk towards is achieving excellence in your life. That is what NLP is all about. So the way NLP is being designed, it has been designed on the basis of how people achieved excellence in their life. Reframe and anchoring, Vinal. Reframe and anchoring, yeah. So NLP is fundamentally NLP is designed with one research in mind, and that one research was how can people achieve excellence in their life. So what the father of NLP, like Richard Bandler and John Grinder, what they thought about is, let us figure out that exactly what these people do when they achieved excellence. So what they did their research on that, and the outcome of their research is titled as neuro-linguistic programming. So they discovered there are fundamentally two things which people use to achieve whatever they achieve in their life. The first one is reframe, and the second one is anchoring. So now, what comes to your mind when you hear these two words, reframe and anchoring? What comes to your mind? Whatever comes to your mind, just say.
reframing is basically looking at the same situation from a different perspective.
Okay. Replace situation with thought. Then how it would be?
Sorry.
Replace situation with thought.
Okay, so like same. So we have to change our thought. I mean, like when we
Exactly.
say something is,
Exactly. So it is not the situation that you can change or reframe. What you reframe is the thought about that situation. For
right.
example,
Mm-hmm.
for example, like you say that it's bad everywhere. The situation is very bad everywhere. So when you say the word bad, what is happening? You are triggering the experience of bad in that conversation. Now, when you say the situation is not so good, so what you did, you moved that bad into a not so good state. So it becomes good. It is not so good, but that is it is good now. You got that? Are you getting me?
Yes. Mhm.
So similarly, when you say things are difficult, so when you say difficult, what is happening? You are triggering difficulty, triggering the experience of feelings of difficulty. Now, how you can change that? By saying not so easy. You say maths is very difficult, or this person is very difficult, or achieving this is very difficult for me. The moment you replace that word difficulty with it's not so easy, it moves from a negative zone to a positive zone, which is from difficulty it becomes easy. It is not as easy as it could be, but at least it is easy now. So you are saying not so easy. So you moved it into an easy zone. Similarly, when you are saying that somebody is feeling sad about something, so you can say, I'm not feeling not so happy. But what is happening is you are triggering now the happiness in the same situation. For example, you imagine that you are in a medical emergency and you are in the emergency of a hospital. Now, when you are in the emergency of the hospital, imagine yourself. You can afford to stay panicked because you do not know what to do. But if the person who is attending the patient, if he or she is panicked, what will happen? Do they have any choice to get panicked? Even if they get panicked, do they have any choice to express it? This is what anchoring is all about. But this is what reframing is also all about. So reframing and anchoring a combination यहाँ पे हो रहा है. Let me explain it what I'm talking about. See, every word that you and I have learnt till date, every word, I'm talking about learnt, मतलब सीखा है. Every word that you and I have learnt till date since our childhood is backed by at least one story. Every word has a story behind it. Some event happened in your life, that event is a story. Like today, if you narrate that event or you refer to that event, you refer to it as a story. This is what happened. Okay, so before that event happens, it is nothing. When that event happens, it remains as an event, and after the event happens, it becomes a story. Okay. Now imagine every word that you learn is backed by a story. For example, how did you learn that what is the meaning of dog? How did you learn it? So when you were a child, when you didn't know how to read, you learned by seeing the dog as an animal, the seeing that. Like your parents said, this is dog, or maybe your grandparents said, this is dog. So you discovered this is dog. That's the first interaction with dog. So you got to know, okay, there is something, there is a word called dog, though you don't know the words, but you know that there is some sound which is like dog, and it means this animal. It may be some other word in your own mother tongue. So you correct with that also, the same object. In some other language, it may be some other word. So if you talk about God, dog, so dog in Hindi is kutta, dog in Bengali is kukur. And since I know three languages, for example, so I know I can differentiate that these three words are separate, but they point to the same object, the same experience, that experience of a dog. And then you come across different species of dog. Acha, ye bhi dog hai, acha, wo bhi dog hai. Yeah, they look like dog. They look like that animal only. So these are different varieties of dog, or different species of dog. But you discover that this is also dog, this is also dog. And if you close your eyes right now, you can still see the dog somewhere inside your brain. And not only that, let us do this. Let us do this. Actually close your eyes. Actually close your eyes wherever you are. Just take 1 minute, close your eyes, and visualize where you can see a dog inside your mind, inside your brain, inside this small space. कहीं ना कहीं पे आपको एक dog दिखेगा. You can see a picture of that dog. And not only that, you can also feel that dog. The feeling that you have about dog, you can also feel that. And you notice that that feeling is there in your body. You can feel that dog in your hands, in your palms, in your stomach, in your chest, in your limbs, in your shoulders. It is everywhere. You can feel that experience of that dog. So every time you think of a dog, your body feels the feeling of that word called dog. And it gets ready to face a dog if that dog appears in real life, in real time. So this is applicable with all the words that you and I have learned. And every word has a feeling associated with it, and this feeling is called anchor. So every time you think of the word confidence, you feel that word, feel the feeling of that word confidence, and that is what anchor is all about. In neuro-linguistic programming, anything that gives you a specific feeling is anchor. So if you know, for example, 5,000 words, you are already blessed with 5,000 different unique anchors. So that is why in your communication, when you are replacing difficulty with not so easy, you are replacing the anchor of difficulty with anchor of easy. Feeling of difficulty is replaced with feeling of easiness. Feeling of panic is replaced with feeling of confidence, relaxed. Exactly, Shilpa. So when you hear the word snake, you actually experience the snake first, and then the feelings associated with that snake since your childhood. The first time when you discover that this is what snake is all about, whatever feeling you associate yourself with that word, you are still carrying that feeling. That is always the first feeling. Every time you listen to a word, the first feeling that you get is the feeling which you created for yourself when you heard and confirmed that this is the meaning of this word. And you always, without fail, trigger that feeling. Anchoring is all about triggering that state of mind. So every time we are speaking, what are the words we are using in our communication, we are triggering the feeling of all those words. The process is happening so fast that we don't even notice it. That's why in NLP there is a structure of communication. In the structure of communication, it has three layers. The first layer is the what actually happened, the reference structure, followed by the structure which is your meaning making structure, the reference structure, then deep structure. Deep structure is your meaning making of what happened, and then comes the surface structure. Surface structure is the words that are using to express that meaning that you create out of that event, what happened. And your meaning is essentially your perception. Perception has nothing to do with words at any given point of time, but when you use words, when you make an effort to express that perception to tell others, like when you make an effort to project that perception, then you look for the words that you can use to connect with that perception and share it in different, in terms of sentences, combination of words. So you use combination of words to express that perception, which is called projection. So now the words that you're using, you are triggering those anchors. And the anchor that you're triggering, that will define whether you're reframing it for your positive, like for your benefit or not. So for example, when you are saying this is a problem, the definition of problem, the experience of problem, the feeling of problem that you had is absolutely different for the other person. In fact, right now we are 5 people sitting here. Even if there are 5,000 people, and if you ask each of them to write their definition of problem, one sentence, all these 5,000 sentences will be unique. Each of them. Because whatever you are expressing, whatever you're projecting is your perception about the feeling of problem. Your perception of the word problem. So the problem has a feeling, your perception of that feeling is what you are expressing with the words which you know and connect it with that feeling. So now when you are discussing a problem with some other person and both of them using the word problem, a third problem is getting created. Now how this can be settled or how this can be handled? By simply not using the word problem in that communication. It's as simple as that. Not to use the word problem in the communication. As simple as that. If you don't use the word problem in the communication, you are not triggering the anchor, which comes with a feeling of that word problem. You got that? So our consciousness understands emotions and feelings. See, it's all about emotions and feelings only. See, ultimately, you store that information in your brain as a feeling or as an emotion. And this is called, in the language of neuro-linguistic programming, this is called internal representation. So you have an internal representation about everything that you have come across till date. Like you have an internal representation about even the word Pinaki. And if I'm the first person you have come to know about with this name, you have an internal representation of that. If you come across a second person, now the same name has two different meanings, though the name remains the same. And you'll find two Pinakis in two different zones of your brain. And your brain knows they are distinct. When it fails to identify that, then you think, which Pinaki are you talking about? You actually think, do I know anybody with the name Pinaki at all? Who is Pinaki? When you are unable to distinguish. But your brain always distinguishes it and it stores it as an internal representation somewhere inside your brain. And all these, both these two internal representations have two different sets of feelings or emotions. So when you talk about Pinaki, this Pinaki, you have a different feeling. When you talk about the other Pinaki whom you know, you'll have a different feeling altogether. Because you have different internal representation of that. Exactly same with anything. Think about the different fonts. The font, say the letter A is written in Arial font, it is written in some other font. But you can still distinguish that this is the letter A. Whatever font it is being written, that image of A, that internal representation of the letter A is there in your mind. So now, how problem, when we're in a problem, when we use the word problem in our conversation, how we can change it, how we can reframe it and change it for a better way of handling the situation. So the best way to handle it, the way normally people do in defense, yeah, people do in defense or security systems, security personnel, they say, what is the situation? They never ask what is the problem. They always ask this question, what is the situation? And the word situation is neutral. It has no bias. It gives a neutral feeling. Nothing positive about it, nothing negative about it, nothing strong about it, nothing weak about it. So the best way to handle a problem is to ask the other person, what is the situation now? Or you can use any other word other than problem to discuss it. Like I have interacted with people who have gone through emotional health challenges. I call them emotional health challenges. Just people who are into depression, who are under very much stress, who are taking anxiety pills and all that. So I said they are only under emotional challenge. That's it. So when I tell them that, okay, you explain whatever is you are going through. So the first thing that I ask them is to tell the story, whatever they are going through. And every time they use any of these weak negative words, I just tell them you replace this with some other word. Do not use this word in your communication. What is happening? See, you say that say for last 2 years my life was horrible. Yeah, that's how these people they start their conversations. It was terrible. You won't believe. And then I ask them, okay, you say the same thing without using the word horrible. Okay, probably they will replace it with terrible, or maybe they will replace it with horrific. And they keep on using these negative words, and I keep on telling them that replace this word, use some other word, use some other word, use some other word. And within 5 to 10 minutes, what happens? This person starts laughing. The same person who probably was not laughing for last 2 years, last 2 months, last so many weeks, the same person. Sometimes they also get so much aggravated. They tell me, आप मेरे को बोलने का मौका ही नहीं दे रहे हो what I am going through. And I am telling them, मैं आपको बोलने का मौका तो दे रहा हूँ, मैं खाली आपको कह रहा हूँ कि you should not use these words. That's it. You say the same thing. So what is happening when you're using those words? You are bringing the feeling of the experiences of those words in your communication. Now, when I'm not allowing you to use those words, what is happening? You're looking for all the words. And at some point of time, your search for weak negative words will end. And then you start saying small, धीरे धीरे strong positive words. Automatically निकलेगा. So I wait for that moment. The कब वो automatically निकलता है. And the moment that comes out automatically, I said, now you are on the right track. अभी तक आप डाउनहिल जा रही थी. Though you got many options to take uphill road, you avoided all of them. Now you got the first road, that you could see the first uphill road. That is the moment that transformation happens. And did you see the combination of anchoring and reframing with excellence? Now your journey towards excellence starts. And I'm telling you, it's very easy to live that kind of life. Till you were 6 years young, you applied all these tactics. आपने जिद किया, आपको नहीं मिला, and you were not unhappy about it. You were looking for other ways how to get it. You were not feeling down. You never said that I don't deserve it. You kept on saying, अरे ये बात नहीं बन रही है, let me figure out some other option. Somehow I have to get this. मुझे वो चॉकलेट चाहिए कैसे भी हो, चाहे बना के हो, चाहे रोके हो, चाहे चिल्ला के हो, whatever it is, whatever it takes. In neurolinguistic program, we say there is nothing called try. For example, if you say somebody tells you, you give somebody an option, an opportunity, maybe an invitation. Okay, let's go and watch this movie. So will you join me? If the person says, I'll try, chances are very low that it will convert into a yes. Now you ask the same person, will you try or you'll do whatever it takes? Now the trial is over. Now the trial is over. You reframed it with a new anchor. And this new anchor is that now I have to make a promise and I have to keep it as well. I cannot bypass it. Simple, chota sa difference. People will say, I will try. You ask them, so will you try or like you'll do whatever it takes? Simple, small change. Okay, so good. So we are almost 32 minutes. I would like to hear from each one of you before you have any questions to ask me. Like with this new awareness, whatever you discovered or whatever you exposed to over last 30 minutes, with this new awareness, all this new awareness, what do you see possible for yourself now? I would request each one of you to unmute and say rather than typing it in the chat box. Because this session is getting recorded, you will have an opportunity to listen to your own voice. So you listen and you will observe that what kind of words you used to express whatever you could see for yourself now. You can observe the tonality. Certain things which you may not be observing, may be able to observe right now while you talk about it, you can find them when you listen to your own conversation, when you listen to your own words that you spoke. Okay, so go ahead.
Uh, Hello. Hi, Pinaki.
Yeah, Palak.
So my takeaway is like, how much power does my words have? Like whatever self-talk I do, like on this Saturday, I am appearing for two NPTEL exams, and so I was studying for it, and I was like, this is very tough. This is going to be really difficult. So now I know what words I have to, use to make things better for me. I mean,
What kind of words you would
yeah.
like to use?
Um, it is
Instead of
not
tough
so
and
easy.
difficult. Yeah.
It is not so easy, and I'll make it, or I'll do it whatever it takes.
Yeah, absolutely. I know it's not so easy, but I know for many
Hmm.
it's easy. Who are particularly people who are prepared for it, it's easy for them. It's like a cakewalk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Bhavna.
For me, the takeaway is observation. It's to be aware and to observe. Um,
Hmm.
I know the power of words because that's why we say spelling, because spell is a spell. We cast a spell on ourselves or on others. And I believed this for a very long time. So um, before I throw it out into uh, the world or allow it to be absorbed within me, I always ask myself why. And I have this practice of always finding out the why. Yeah, I'm scared of this. Why? I get an answer, I ask another why and another why. And the whys till I reach a point that everything just dissolves and there is nothing left to throw out into the open because the wisdom lies within us. And for me, words are very powerful. They are vibration, they're sound. That's why mantras are so powerful. Uh, Words hold, each word has a frequency and we don't realize it. Uh, and that frequency can either make or break whatever's in front of you. Because sound is so powerful that it can shatter glass. So that awareness of knowing that when you're using a word, it can impact whatever around you. It doesn't have to be living or non-living. It can impact everything around you. So this awareness has been there, but what you said was very, very uh, deep, where that it gets fed in from young. There's always a reference to every word. There's a story, and that was something I had never connected. So that's my takeaway from you. As to every word has a story. And I was trying to think about it. I think so. Every word has a story, and words are what something means to you may mean completely different to me. And that's why people have misunderstandings, because our understanding of a word is from our own journey. And the understanding of a word is from your journey. And when we communicate, I'm saying it from my reference point, you're saying it, you're understanding it from your reference. And when we understand it and say it from two different reference points, obviously there's going to be a miscommunication there. So the habit I have is I constantly, when I have a conversation with someone, I say, okay, please explain to me, what did you understand from what I said? And 99% of the time, they've understood it completely different from what I was trying to say. So I realized that it's cut down a lot of misunderstandings, because I'm very aware that every word has history for each one of us. What you said today took me to that theory of childhood, how those words are formed. I didn't connect that part in my entire story of how important it is to understand why they have a different analysis of a word, why they understand a word so differently. I used to think it is maybe education, or it is maybe their background, but I didn't know there was always uh, something in the three-dimensional form, like a story that creates that word. Yeah, thank you.
Actually, this is the fifth dimension. X, Y, Z are the three dimensions. Time is the fourth dimension. And feelings, the quantum field, is the fifth dimension.
Correct.
And quantum field is all about feelings.
Correct.
See, you can easily connect with how you learned all the tangible things. Imagine how you learned all the intangible ones. How do you know the difference between encouragement, motivation, and inspiration? How do you know?
Okay. Yeah, that is in the fifth dimension. True. Like when I was talking about dog, that is in the third dimension of formation.
Yeah, formation.
So now, the
way you
fear of
remember
that
dog is in the fifth dimension.
Okay. 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 So that's a new understanding for me. I was taking it as a formation, and then the feeling towards the dog becomes more in the fifth dimension.
Yeah, the way you have stored it here.
You stored it in that form, in a feeling form. Okay.
Because this fifth dimension is accessible only by your soul.
Right.
The moment your soul leaves this body, this is useless. Nobody can do anything with this.
Correct.
People do not know how it is being, how any information or any data is being stored in your mind, in what form, in what feeling.
Is that carried with the soul as it moves on, or it just is left behind?
That I don't know because I haven't had that experience. But people say
It is
you
carried.
carry it along.
I'd love to explore. Yeah.
Yeah, at least you carry along some experiences. Definitely, maybe you still need to learn the words again when you take another shape, another form, and you come back to earth.
Nice. That's a good learning for me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for the wonderful session, Vishal. Good to see you. I believe you missed the crux of the session, but what you can also do that you can listen to the recordings and join our session every Thursday at 7 o'clock. हम लोग ऐसे खेलते खेलते we learn NLP. All right. But if you would like to share anything, you are open to share. Please go ahead. We are unable to hear you, Vishal. Yeah, please unmute yourself. Only then we can hear you. It's frequently moving between mute and unmute. No, anchor and anchoring are not two different things. The fundamentally anchoring is the process of creating an anchor or triggering that anchor. That's just like a noun and a verb. So anchoring is an action which you use to create that anchor.
Hello.
Yes, Visha.
Uh, uh, all the very best, Palak madam, for your examination.
You are frequently getting mute, Vishal. Anyway, so let's close the session and let's come back with more insightful ideas and experiences over next Thursday, same time at 7 o'clock. Okay, and Palak, all the best for your NPTEL examination from all of us. And we know that you will shine in colors and we can see those colors around us. Bye-bye.